Yes, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, live from Arnold's Drive-In and Milwaukee Fried Chicken Stand, you wanted to see it, brings you one of the most exciting events it's ever been our privilege to bring.
Okay, kids, Arnold's is proud to present Kenosha, Wisconsin's own
TC and Jake.
Hey folks, it's me, TC Fleming, coming live with the two smallest dicks in the entire universe, Jake and Justin. How is it?
That's what you got for us, huh?
I wanted to think of something better.
Yeah.
Usually when people say like
let's
universe,
start over.
they don't mean Earth. Like they mean the beyond, right? So
yeah,
I would
I'm
say that
assuming
actually
that every species has a larger dick than you.
every species, huh? You're gonna do this on the night Biden became president?
Dude, he did knock it out, huh? I mean, I didn't listen or watch or anything like that. I just saw a couple tweets.
And I won't, but
I'm never going to.
I love this shit, man. I saw so much fawning. I sat here one year ago tonight, watching the president address the nation, and now I can finally return to my core form as a fucking dweeb who grants fealty to 80-year-old men that have been hiding in a bunker for 2 months because he can't stand up without falling over.
It is nice that we elected FDR again. You're right.
Yeah.
Dude, he will give a speech sitting down with a blanket on before the next election. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Well, it was cold.
I mean, it was big ups to him. He didn't pull that at the inauguration.
He had to get through one day of looking like he can maintain core temperature without having to go inside with Meemaw and Peepaw.
Yeah. Pretty soon it'll just be, the New York Times headline will just be, President still capable of homeostasis.
So what'd he say?
Dude, I don't
We're
have
going
any
back
idea.
to the moon. What?
Justin probably watched.
I didn't watch.
He likes keeping up on the news.
I was very busy. The only news I saw today was that in response to the royal family saying that they're not racist, somebody found a picture of Prince William, one of the young ones, being carried on a litter by all people of not the same color skin as him.
Yeah.
Hey, dude,
I've seen that one.
It could go bad, but I mean, they wanted to do it. It was good. They liked it, probably.
A lot of smiles in the picture.
Their statement felt very much akin to UT Austin's to me.
Yeah.
Look, we know everybody is saying this is racist, so we talked about it. We said it's not. So I don't know if you have further questions, but what could they be?
Yeah. Were you there for the conversation? I don't think so.
Asked and answered.
Yep. Look down at the board. Saw nothing
down
but
at the old racism board.
And that's well hit out over the wall, and I'm very sorry.
I don't know if I'll put on this headset again.
What's the story with the one clip of is it Harry? I guess it's Harry. Which one was briefly masquerading as he was in the military?
Yeah,
all of them, dude.
Harry.
All of them.
No, but Harry went to Afghanistan or whatever until the press found out about it, and then he came home because they were worried about him being too big of a target.
No,
okay.
The thing that I liked was they showed both Harry and William in basic, and Harry was ripping it up a little bit, and William was like, I think that I might fuck up my fingernails if I try too hard.
Harry has a strong, I don't want any part of it vibe. Just kind of across the board. Or William, whatever. William's what I meant. I don't know what I said.
There was something where Harry's sprinting across, I'm exaggerating this, a balance beam
That's
or something.
what I'm referencing.
Okay, yeah, and then William is people are holding him up,
It's the same guys from the picture with the litter.
Yeah, they just carry him around, I guess. I don't know.
It's those guys on the balance beam with the litter and then William. Yeah.
And like Harry's just fucking killing the climbing wall. Like they might as well fucking rename it the Harry Wall. And then William's like, well, you know,
They should name it the Harry Wall regardless. It doesn't matter. It should always be the Harry Wall.
What's the clip of him getting up and taking off his lav mic mid interview to run across like an airfield?
I mean, I don't know anything about it. It's just been all over forever that they were like he's on the flight line or whatever for some Apaches. I have no idea what his job was. And like somebody yells attack in the background and you see all these people. I'm sure, like, 95% the whole thing is staged, right? The whole thing is like a setup. Like the whole interview, the purpose of the entire interview was to trick the people who are there to film it into thinking that like he does something all day. But who knows? Who could say?
Why do they have a military?
I mean, exactly. They have us. They don't need.
Well, they have us, and like, who wants England, dude? Like, they can have it. It's full of English people, dude.
They might have enough bullied nerds.
Yeah, what if Wales gets out of hand?
There might be enough bullied Commonwealth nerds from back in the day that have been keeping a list.
Yeah,
like
I've seen
Shimmy and.
What if they hadn't? What if they hadn't had a military when Braveheart came out? I mean, there just wouldn't be any British people left. The Scots would have gone.
That's true.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about that clip, though, is that's totally protocol in the military is just to yell attack like it's Independence Day and everyone has to get to their bird as quick as they can.
That's the code word, attack.
Yeah.
Right, and then it's just run to a plane. Like it doesn't matter which one, just get in one.
Right.
I think the
all
entire
basically the same.
Isle of Britain is it's a classic. Dude, who wants this? I think the answer is no one, not even Tom.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been, but you know my opinion. So
I do.
What the fuck can they even grow there?
Beans, probably.
Yeah, fucking baked beans, dude. They come out of the ground baked.
Come out of the ground, oozing in bean juice.
Every 5 years, they put the last can back in the ground, and then they have no beans for 8 months.
They have to pray for a good baked bean harvest.
Some year, the locusts and the beans will happen on the same year, and just no more England.
Did you see that internet video of the girl who got beans?
Oh yeah, I sent that to you. The one where she thinks she's gonna throw water on her face.
Yes.
And then it's a cup full of beans, and then she just they land in her mouth, and she sits up, she's like, ugh. It was beans.
Yeah. I love that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh man,
I think about that
I
a
need
lot.
To find that.
Yeah. There's a whole Twitter account that I follow because that was who showed it to me. And if they can ever capture that magic twice, they'll be my favorite Twitter account in history.
Yeah, no, fair.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well,
So why is he here?
what's up?
So why is Smarty Pants here? And if he's here, why do I have
Smarty
to be
Pants,
here?
Small Dick. That's what I'm catching from y'all tonight. That's what we've come for.
Well, I mean, as one of the smarter people I know, you had a really tough time with the problem of why do I have to look at this camera while I'm recording rather than just turning it around?
Yeah. And like a person who's not as smart as he gets credit for, I had to have TC explain it to me twice. So
Yeah, that was my Cory Booker tweet of the week moment.
You can solve this. I believe in you.
I know this is a problem you can handle.
I think if I'd been all the way on it, I would have waited 2 minutes and then said it like it was my idea. Then that's the key.
No, we've invited the esteemed Dr. Bell. Because I am talking as the only one of us who has remained COVID free throughout the pandemic. And as I was monitoring Justin's COVID tale, I said this is the kind of thing that we need to tell everyone.
There you go. So yeah, I'm apparently here to talk about the thing that everyone's definitely not sick of hearing about: your COVID experience.
Well, this is kind of going to be a fun bookend because Biden announced tonight that it's done. It's over.
That's true. It's
so
over. This is the last night where you can talk about it.
Yeah, well, you're kind of leading us into the new era with this tale.
Sure.
You and Dr. Jill.
Yeah. Who,
Did she find the vaccine? Did I understand that right?
No, and she's like the last person who can use doctor and can't give it. I did see. That was the other thing that like broke through today was that they're going to let basically anybody who can hold the needle give this thing, which makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
But vets and med students and anybody, it's great. It needs to happen. I just was like,
But they're not
why didn't we do that 2 months ago?
I mean, true. I watched the guy putting it in my arm. It seemed easy.
It seems straightforward.
Is she higher on the list to be able to administer, or the education lady who's the sister-in-law of the Blackwater guy?
Tied for last.
They
can give it to each other simultaneously. That's the only circumstance.
That's fucking like a Romeo and Juliet. Or is Eric Prince himself actually higher on the list as a man with a body count that's like he clearly won't feel bad if it goes sideways? Like that's.
Do you think Eric Prince got it? Do you think he wants it, or is he? I feel like he either was like somehow one of the very first people to get it, or he's never going to get it by choice.
That's a good call.
I'll bet it's the first one.
Yeah,
I think
and
all
if
of
it's
these
the first
people.
one, he doesn't want you to know.
Yeah,
Right.
dude. All of these cultural figures that like is part of their brand, they're against it. I think that they got it like well before it was approved by the FDA.
Like
Yeah.
Toby Keith probably got it in Germany at the lab.
I don't think Toby
like-
Keith is against.
it's just Toby Keith and a bunch of rhesus monkeys getting getting the very first vaccines. Anyway, sorry.
Or the Nuge.
Yeah.
Okay, the real question is...
Ted
does-
Nugent
does-
probably got it. Yeah,
Does Kid Rock have it?
no doubt, dude.
There's where the real meets the road.
Yeah, no, the guy who rapped about coming out of the trailer whenever his parents had a fucking 6,000 square foot mansion in the Detroit suburbs. I think that
All
guy
right.
might get the vaccine while publicly saying he doesn't. I have a suspicion.
Leave Bob alone.
Yeah, I
All
think
right,
Bob
anyway,
has
so
it.
back to 2021's fantasy football team, your COVID experience.
Yeah. So I don't know. Did the work from home thing for a while back last summer, and then started going back to work.
And you work in a medical field with a medical doctor. So
Yeah. So
Pretty
my wife's a
COVID
doctor. My wife is a doctor. They never she was home for a little while, and then pretty quickly was back to just like she was going to work every day, starting maybe like July or August. I was going back to the hospital a few times a week. By September, October, I was going basically every day. So we were trying really hard to be really careful. I signed up. My work had this option to just like you could get a COVID test every week, like just constant surveillance. So I signed up for that, getting a COVID test, every Thursday. Like one on my birthday. It was a big deal. Everybody knew it was my birthday because I've been telling my birthday to make sure it was me for like 4 months.
that's fun.
They're like, "Oh, it's your birthday." I was like, "It is." And then
Balloons fall, but the balloons fall, but they have little spikes like other balloons tied around them. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We wanted to theme it for you.
That's fun.
Doing the whole thing. Like we did one family dinner in like September. My wife's got some family in town, but other than that, we basically weren't seeing anybody. Like really trying to because we saw ourselves as potential vectors. Like so, we're like, if we could catch it at work, we're not gonna then expose other people. Like mask obviously is required, but like they did a whole like up down with reopening restaurants and bars and then closing them again, and we didn't go to try and be safe, and that all worked through Thanksgiving. And then, so there's a couple things that are harder to nail down which of these is the precipitating cause of my illness. The first one is that I rode the bus one day. I wasn't near anybody. I was sitting on my little green dot. Everybody else was on their little green dot. But I did ride the bus one day, and when I talked to the infection control people, they really like honed in on that one. The other thing that happened is that one time I was on an elevator in my building. Building has a mask requirement and only 4 people on the elevator at any given time. But there's like one couple who sort of famously they just don't wear masks ever. I'd ridden the elevator with him before at like a different point when less people had it, and also when it was just me on the elevator. But so I'm coming back into the building from taking the dog out. I'm with a couple other people who also use the dog park every day. So I don't talk to anybody at the dog park, but like we all recognize each other a little bit when we all get on the elevator. There's 4 of us on the elevator. Elevator goes up to the 4th floor where the gym is, and it opens up, and here's this guy in like a wife beater, probably in his 50s, no mask, with his girlfriend, wife, whatever, no mask. And like, it's kind of a high stress moment in general. It's the week after Thanksgiving, so like we're all a little bit keyed up, I think, across the board for this environment that we're in. And I don't know if I would normally like have it, but like I was just like, hey man, like can you wait for another one if you're not going to wear a mask? Because I feel like we got 2 things here going on. No mask, 4 people on the elevator already. He like just gets on, looks like right in my face, like I already had it. I'm like, okay. So like the wheels are trying to turn a little bit. I'm trying to get to something to say back that like moves the ball forward. And I'm starting to come to like, so you're telling me you have had a positive COVID test as like a response. But while I'm trying to like turn that into a sentence, somebody else from the dog park, this woman who's probably like 5'3", is just like, why are you always such a fucking asshole? Which I'm like, okay, all right.
We got a repeat offender.
You got a history.
We've got some things happening here. And then at that moment, I observed that, so he's come on and he's hit his floor, but his partner or whatever has not come on and seems more averse to crossing this social threshold of the elevator door. And he like immediately gets directly in this woman's face and is like, you don't tell me how to live. Like starts going. She starts yelling from outside the elevator, and then the elevator doors start closing, which he observes. She doesn't move at all. So he like tries to slam the door open with his arm. He's like, I'm on fire. And then he's like trying to get...
It's so easy in movies.
Right. So then the doors open back up. He's trying to get her on. I'm like, at this point, I'm trying to like I was really thinking about today, like what exactly happened in this elevator. And there's like some stress reaction and some it's been 3 months where like the chain of events like breaks down. I know that the door started to close twice. He slammed it with his arm the first time. The second time he kicked it. Elevator door opened both times, hurt him both times, which is wonderful. She stayed out while he tried to yell both at the woman that he was with and the woman he wasn't with. And like, I didn't say anything else because I was like, I'm very averse to like, this has gone farther than really I wanted it to, frankly. And then I don't really want to have this guy like I'm not in any, he works out and I don't. That we have that baseline. I don't want to have a physical altercation with this man.
You play soccer though.
The last time I played soccer was February 2020. I have gone to seed entirely.
Yeah. What kind of defense do you think you could mount at this point?
I could get my hands over my eyes for a while until he knocked me out.
No, I just mean
I think he meant against an advancing attack, like a striker.
Yeah, if the striker's going in.
How old are they? That's the biggest factor for me now. Anybody under 30, I can't keep up with them, regardless.
It's messy, but he has a broken ankle. You've got 1,000 shots. How many of them do you stop?
Messi?
But he's got a broken ankle.
How far? Which ankle?
The stronger one.
How far away am I when he starts to shoot?
Would you give yourself any if it was half field?
If he had the opportunity to dribble and shoot from half field, he scores on me every time, even with a broken ankle.
Out of 1,000.
There's no doubt. Yeah, if I have to defend the entire goal with just my body and I have to close half the field before he can shoot, he's going to score every time. The exact second when I can't recover, he's going to put it over me every single time.
Except for the few times where he actually ends up behind you.
But it's
just kind of waiting on you.
It's you got a goalie, like it's full field, your team, but you're the primary defender.
It's like an Oklahoma drill type thing.
Yeah. This is a drill from Madden That the one-on-one the linebacker versus running back drill from Madden that TC's trying to shoehorn into soccer in a setting where it doesn't matter what he designs, Messi's going to score.
They have this drill in FIFA. I play it all the time.
Okay.
Does that feature still exist on current Madden, releases?
I haven't played in a while, but I never like get deep into things. I just sign up and play the online head-to-head. But I have to figure that it does. They add features. They don't take them away.
Because I was like the only person I knew that really loved those. And it really makes me feel like a dweeb now that I'm like, we have to practice. We have to get reps. These will carry over to the game. And sidebar, I think I just thought of a really good ticket bit that might not be played out, which is what age could we play a team of kids in indoor and make that competitive?
Ooh, I like that.
10 or 11?
I don't like your chances.
It depends on the 10-year-old.
9? Like, let's say it's a good team, but not like, it's like the best house team at a particular location.
Like if they won, like
they're going to
just say they'll take on the winners at whatever, like whatever's indoor place.
Not like a travel, but just like whatever indoor.
Like
obviously,
they have a tournament at that, or like a league going at that place. At the end, they award trophies by age. Which age of the winners?
I bet you don't beat anybody in an under 14 league.
Yeah,
so
but
14,
I think we're all in agreement. They're getting smoked.
Of course, they would. So, but like
13, could they handle? I would say no. I think I got to go down to 9.
So you want them against the under 10 team before you're going to give even odds?
Before I'm favoring them, I got to see 9-year-olds on the field.
Yeah, because there's going to be one 6-year-old who's the best player in the facility.
He's playing up.
Yeah.
6-year-old Messi.
I think that might be really fun. Anyways, so you only played soccer, so you didn't want to fight the guy.
So I didn't want to fight. Well, plus I just don't. I'm not fight. I'm not. That's not something I'm looking for ever. So it goes back and forth. At some point, I did talk to the lady some. And I don't.
Lady 1 or Lady 2?
Lady 2. I was also trying not to whatever. I communicated with the woman outside the elevator a little bit, and I don't remember what I said to her, but she screamed back at me, "Go tell it to Lizard Lightfoot," which is a reference to the mayor of Chicago.
No.
Yeah. Which tells you. There's no shock there, but tells you everything you need to know. And then she wanted to know if I thought that. She kept calling me a hypocrite, and I was like, I'm wearing a mask. And then she was like, well, should Lightfoot and Pritzker wear masks? And I was like, yes. And then she was like, well, go tell it to Lizard Lightfoot. And I was like, okay, that's
if I get the chance,
great.
I will. However, I'm just kind of focused on
fantastic.
This immediate elevator situation.
So then at some point in all that, he gets out of the elevator because the lady won't get in with him. His partner won't get in with him, which is wonderful.
That's always been whenever I just had the information that she won't get in with him, I'm like, okay, she's embarrassed, kind of sheepish about this whole thing. But then whenever I hear that she's going off on Lizard Lightfoot, I hadn't heard that detail. I remember you saying something about her being like those studies aren't even that high quality. It's about the mask efficacy.
Yeah, I don't. You have greatly your retelling of her
tried
statement.
To graft meaning onto these bare bones of words.
Yeah, no, there was something about it's not even real. If given time, I'm sure she would have gotten to these are people dying of other stuff who happen to have COVID, the stuff we've all heard. But the word efficacy was not uttered. I can tell you that. So he gets off the elevator. The doors close. So that's the 4th floor. I only live on the 7th floor. So there's 30 feet of absolute silence with me and the other people on the elevator. And then the doors open again, and I give some kind of weird head nod, and somebody was like, thanks. And then I walked off, which none of it made any sense. We're all in shock. Doors close, go back to my apartment, tell TC and whatever, go on with my week. And then Thursday rolls around. And I got to say
that whenever you told me, I was that's all. It's obviously that guy's an asshole. I'm sorry that happened, but you're on with him for a couple minutes at most. Like,
Right.
Isn't the CDC saying like 15 minutes is the longest you need to get the exposure or something like that?
To be fair to the CDC, I don't think they calculated for someone literally yelling in your face. Like the image of like two humans where everything that comes out of one of them is blue and everything comes out of the other one is red, and it's just like they're covered in each other's color. Like I'm covered in his red, whatever. Like it was a lot. So that's Tuesday, and Thursday I go get my weekly COVID test, and then Friday morning I'm like going through my normal stuff. The test resulted at like basically the exact same time every week. And so I would kind of like, oh, good for another week, whatever. And I'm just chilling, doing my stuff. And like result comes in and right away the email is different. Like instead of like click to log in, it's like click to log in, how to schedule an appointment. Like there's the other fields. I open it, instead of just being the like quick, like not detected, it's like this huge block of text about all the stuff I need to do to deal with, like scroll down to the bottom, like detected, you got COVID. I'm like, okay, cool. This is great. So short version, go home, kick my wife out of the house for 3 days because I was totally asymptomatic at this point, and we live in a 700 square foot apartment, so there was some hope that she might not get it. Had a Sunday where she forgot to feed me because I was locked in the bedroom. And then I ordered myself pizza, but then she was kind of like tooling around getting ready to leave to go to the Airbnb. And so there was just pizza sitting out on like the counter for like an hour and a half when I hadn't eaten in all day. I'm just like peeking out this like hole in the door, just staring at the pizza. She told her attending, so she had to quarantine obviously, and she told one of her attendings, who was like, what happened? Like, what was your like method of like, how did you get exposed or whatever? And she's like, oh, like my husband caught it. And the attending's response was just stay away from him, which was like good advice.
They're a cold bunch.
Yeah. So whatever, felt like hell for a week. Did my quarantine. Han caught it. Han came home, which was nice not to be away from her for the whole time. Get better. And like, so when I told this to infection control at work, because you have, do all the contact tracing stuff. And like the nice thing at work was that I had no close contacts. Like there was nobody that I had potentially exposed. Like I still told anybody that I had been vaguely around, but we had structured everything in our office so that you're just never near anybody, which ended up being good. But infection control was like the bus. You rode the bus, like the bus. And I'm like, okay, the elevator guy. Well, have we considered the elevator guy? Kind of back and forth. But like in a vacuum, like that infection control message about the bus, because that's a box they can tick. There's no box for like angry man yelling in elevator.
Wife beater guy.
Yeah. But they had started.
Did you tell
me
he's the kind of guy that works out though?
I mean, I'm sure it was like a 30, 40-minute conversation. And after 5 minutes into the infection control conversation, I was like pure overshare. I'm positive that I told this person the entire story of the elevator, which they did not ask for.
Because it's not so much that he works out, it's that he works out with his girlfriend in a wife beater.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Like, that's a different level of working out.
If you go do a couple laps of the Grapevine Rec, you're fine with me. But, if you got a couple's workout in
There's also
Chicago high rise, I'm out.
I don't know. Han and I have never seen them while we're together. Very early on, Han confronted someone who was on a running on a treadmill in the gym when the gym had like first reopened, who was not wearing a mask and was like, you should be wearing a mask. And there was some back and forth. And the woman just stayed, but she like got on her phone and her husband came down and like stood next to her while she finished her workout. Jesus. Possibly the same people.
Gotta
Unconfirmed.
Be, right?
Most likely. But, whatever. We're not totally sure. So anyway.
How many assholes do you live with, dude?
They're like the only people. There's one other dude who definitely runs one of the tour boats, and I give him a pass. Right? The sailor is not, the seaman is not prepared for this scenario, right? They're used to the open air of the Great Lakes, like. That's right. But like, I give him a pass. That's the only other dude that doesn't wear a mask. Actually, whatever. I still like him. So get off quarantine, go back to work. like the third time I'm back in an elevator in my building, door opens up and we got my two best friends in the building. And home dude is like leaned up against the back wall of the elevator, and I can't really see him, and his wife or whatever is like right there near him, like facing him, and I'm like, well, they can't fucking touch me now. So I just get on, I'm, fine, whatever. And I get on, I hit the button, elevator door closed, and I look at him and like, it's not really normal. Like there's something, and I look, and he has like an exercise band wrapped around his face, like he didn't own a mask, and he's got like this makeshift thing that's like peeked over his nose and kind of covering the bottom of his mask. And
like like a resistance band?
No, so I didn't take a lot of looks, and I think like literally like a sweatband.
Okay.
Or some kind of headband that like like someone with long hair would use to hold their hair, something along those lines.
Okay.
But just like moved like on an axis to cover most of his mouth. Right? And he's not leaning against the wall of the elevator. He is slumped against the wall of the elevator. Like he is in bad shape and like sweating and like kind of like coughing a little bit, and she's like talking him through this elevator ride, which is why they're close together. And I'm right away like, I fucking told those people he gave it to me. Right?
I just couldn't believe it, dude. Like of all, like everyone's, I think that's been like kind of the specific fear of your average person, is that you're going to encounter an anti-mask person who's going to be like, how many times, Jake, you don't have to give like an actual number, but how many times have you yelled at someone in the racetrack because they didn't have their mask on? And like, it's because in the back of your head, you're like, well, they might give it to me. But I've never heard of anyone actually being like, and even if you did later catch it, it's like most people would be like, yeah, but I had that fucking dinner with the grandparents and shit. Justin, like, we actually didn't have anything else. Like, this is such a controlled experiment.
We ordered
really
all our
got
groceries.
It from that.
We canceled all of our Thanksgiving plans. Like, we Zoomed. We have, Hannah's dad lives in Chicago. We hadn't seen him since September. Like, we did not. I got it on the bus or I got it in the elevator. That is it.
Yeah, and I think even for me, like I've done that at a gas station, and I've probably had at least one other like kind of, at least like a type moment, which was like very pronounced. It was more than just a thought bubble,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But both times I was really more doing it, one, conflict seeking, but two, like from a theoretical standpoint, that you're not that close to me. We're not in an elevator and you're not screaming. It's more just like at some point you will be in an elevator and you will be screaming.
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily concerned at the gas station. It's just like to be like, dude, you should face some resistance out here to make you should be shamed at least, right? Like there should be some level of quote, this is the real canceling. But it was never because I thought I was going to get it. I don't know that I would have, I don't know how I would have reacted. Like part of me thinks I would have, gone into, asshole overdo it mode, but then you're defeating the purpose. Like the purpose is to get away from them, not to, now if you engage in grappling, then you've sort of defeated the purpose of your own principle.
There's a chance that you get it straight from eye to eye contact somehow.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
You've opened all possibilities.
Right.
I did have time that day, though, so I followed him all the way out to the garage, and he had to take multiple breaks to put his hands on his knees to walk to his car.
God damn it,
Which,
dude.
like, I try to live a life with an open heart to my fellow human beings. I had a great fucking time. That was a good 10 minutes of my life. I'm not going to lie. Which I can say cleanly because I've seen him since he fucking survived.
No more enjoyable human suffering for you than that? Your number one moment?
If I thought about it, I might find something else, but that was all right.
Would the something else involve Brett?
See, I've seen Brett though. Brett, one time Brett's a friend of mine from growing up, and he's soft, whatever. And he stayed over for a whole weekend once, and my dad on Sunday was like, all right, it's time to do chores. And the chore that weekend was to break down a bunch of plexiglass that had been the roof of an old shed and Brett thought he was going to outsmart everybody because it was cut and then break, cut and then break. He was like, well, I'm big. What if I bend it about halfway and stand on it? The answer to which is it flies out. You get real good momentum and slam your head on the house. So tied for first.
Oh, see, I thought at first you said fiberglass. Like, I don't know if you've ever messed with fiberglass before, but I've seen
it was
somebody
solid fiberglass.
Yeah,
like a corrugated fiberglass roof. Fiberglass might be the wrong word. Plastic, whatever. Sorry.
Well, fiberglass. The thing about it is, if you try to be He-Man with that, and you're going to get it in you either way. But if you try to be He-Man with that, it literally feels like you have poison ivy.
So I'm familiar from the fiberglass insulation.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter how well you tape your wrists and everything else. Like, yeah, your whole body. And it gets worse when you shower somehow. It does. Distributes. Yeah. No, I'm aware.
Have you guys, have I ever told you that my mom would try to make people who stayed at our house on Saturday night go to church on Sunday morning? Because, like, I had to go.
I think I have. And I caught that once in my life. That the family that I was with was like, yeah, Neil, time to go.
No, not with me. My mom wasn't saying. My mom wasn't there whenever we were 27. Like, come on, kids, Sunday school's in 45 minutes. But most people would just do it. But my buddy Jimmy, and this is when after my parents had moved into a house with a second story, and my room was up there. Fucking scaled the house.
Why didn't you walk out the front door?
Oh, dude, they would have known. Like, she would have given him guff, and they had like an alarm system that didn't work except for the front door would beep. That's literally the only thing on it that worked, and he knew, like, I don't want to deal with her, especially not on a Sunday morning. So he just popped my window, pushed out the screen. I held it while he scaled down, and I'm like.
No, unfortunately, not an option for Brett, there was a way to climb onto my roof from like part of inside of the house, and we'd always go up there because you could see stuff or you could throw fireworks, and Brett would never do it, and then we'd throw fireworks at Brett. So, it's tough. It's tough to be B.
That feels very akin to not being able to get over the fence at the golf course.
Oh, whatever. I was on the roof plenty of times. Whenever I would try and get out because I had the same setup, although it was more robust than what you're describing, because all the windows on the first floor would beep if you opened them, but none on the second floor. So I, left to go fucking toke up a number of times, and
Choom gang.
It was never, like scaled down. Like, he sounds like a fucking puma of some kind, just crawling on the face of the house.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Or just jump out that bad boy. Just take a hop. You can make it.
Man, I don't know. That feels pretty close to 6 Minute Mile. Like,
you're asking whether or not I really did it?
Oh, you just jumped out of the second story like no problem.
At least, okay, it's probably an exaggeration to say double-digit times, but 5, 6 at least.
Man. See, I don't know if I would do that, dude.
I fucked up my ankle one of them, but just one of them.
There you go. Was it so I jumped off the roof a lot, but it was like you jump from, like, you hang your legs, somehow getting your feet closer to the ground is going to negate gravity, and like kind of vault away from the roof, and then right as you hit the ground, you just like compress your whole body into a roll.
Yeah, that's better.
Like, that worked. That was fine to get off the roof without climbing, but I don't know if I do it from the second story.
We had a fire escape ladder for the second story. I did use that a couple times.
Is this the Queens of Plano?
Yeah, did it have the big weighted thing and like it like clangs down and then you gotta like pull the thing to get back up? Like, what, or is it just a rope ladder?
No. It was the first one. It did a lot of clanging, but once they figured out, they figured that thing out pretty quick. Because I think it like fucked up the paint on the windowsill, and they like saw it and were like, I know what's going on here. for as many things, like, obviously my parents were my greatest adversaries at this time, so it gives me no fucking pleasure to give them credit. But they could put some stuff together pretty quick of being like, well, I see some fucked up paint on the windowsill. Must be that our son took the fire escape ladder to go fuck around with his friends.
CSI,
did they, like,
swag kid.
Yeah, did they like make you sit down and then be like put on the Sherlock Holmes hat and like, well, I deduced and lay it all out.
And then I think that there's very little chance that this exists, although my parents have been going through some old video cassettes, so if they find it, I will have them let you know. Maybe we can get this on YouTube. But if you don't believe me that I jumped out the window, I'm sure that you've got many more tapes of these than me, Jake. But my little jackass submission video started with me just setting the camera up in my room and then jumping out the window. Like, I had a video shot of that at one point.
So you just disappear out a window?
Yeah.
That's pretty badass. I like that. I mean, it doesn't.
That is.
There's no way to prove it was the second story, but other than that.
I mean, I can take you to the house. You can see it from the golf course.
It just seems curious. Why wouldn't you put the whole point of the thing, like the gambit here is the height, not the
height and the landing. So the camera should have been on the ground.
Right.
Yeah, you're correct, but like...
I appreciate the young auteur trying to get us the silhouette disappearing out a window, but...
And nobody knows what became of him.
And then he died later.
Every third Sunday in March, golfers still claim they can hear.
Yeah, no, let's go play 9 at Sherrill Park, and I'll show you where the window is.
Well, you can just show me the window. I don't need to learn how to play golf.
I think it's an easy course.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I like your apartment, Justin.
Oh, thanks.
It's really nice.
You're seeing basically all of it, so I'm glad you think it's nice.
At least you don't live in the green zone anymore.
Well, I do. They just let the National Guard and all the dump trucks go home. So,
If you sit on the far edge of the couch in his apartment and look out the window, you can see the Sears Tower.
That's true.
What about the Trump Tower?
If you go to the roof.
Nice.
The roof's pretty tight.
Yeah.
Nice.
The roof is tight. And it's open again, and they put the furniture back out, which is great.
That is great. We'll be there in a couple months, Jake.
I know. I can't wait.
Yeah. Y'all can
Rage
see it
Against
for
the
yourselves.
Machine.
I can't wait. Hey, TC, I think if I don't stop now, my computer's going to die.
Yeah, no, I think we're good.
Okay.
It was great talking to you, fellas.
Thank you, Justin. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. See y'all.
See you guys.
That's it for tonight. The high school special is next, so until tomorrow, for everyone who's been a part of this one,
I'm TC and Jake.
we do thank you for watching. Good night.